As I clicked off the video, finishing the recording, my associative memory kicked in, reminding me of Jessica standing next to the temple erected in 2000, and my 86 dream popped into my mind. This was the first prophecy dream that I had, as I'm now a priest in the Aaronic priesthood, with the keys of the ministering of angels. Dreams. Prophecy dreams. And it has been fulfilled in multiple ways. The two failed marriages, specifically, but also for Zion. Because at the end of the dream, let me sum up the dream for you as quick as I can. I'm in a classroom, the clock turns 2 or 3:13, something like that, whatever the time was. Don't remember. Too long ago. My dad destroyed the document. I had written out the dream. Dad destroyed it, threw it away. Blame him, because I do. I get on a bus, travel in the Canadian canola fields with the one road. Either side has the fields of canola. We get to a building. In the building, we're assigned bedrooms. I go to put my suitcases in my bedroom. The woman who's put her stuff in her room comes to me, and we go out the back door. It's underground. We take one of the vehicles that are electric vehicles, and we go through a tunnel system that is lit. Obviously, it has to be lit. But we get to a parking lot of another building. We go up the stairs into the door. There's a hallway. At the end of the hallway, there's a door. We begin to walk down. There are rooms on either side. The doors are open. I go in one of them. It's a class that's in progress, whatever. I walk right in front of the class, in front of the teacher. Teacher's upset. I go back out into the hallway, joining the woman. We get to the end of the hall. We go through the door. It's a chapel, Mormon chapel. The seating slopes down like at BYU to the pulpit at the base. She goes straight down the stairs, sits at the pulpit as if she were going to give the talk that day. I go to the right and down the stairs, sit in the middle section of benches in the middle, and there's one other person that's insignificant that eventually disappears over on the upper right, and somebody that disappears further up in the middle section. And then my parents are in wheelchairs in the benches somehow. It's a dream. It's what the dreams do. Sitting in the upper left, where we first came in. They did not see me, did not acknowledge me. I didn't acknowledge them. I just saw them. Knew that they were my parents in wheelchairs. Then guards come out the back door that we came in and grab my parents, drag them out of their wheelchairs, back out the door. I go, oh boy. So I get up, go down the stairs. I see at the base of the pulpit that there's another stairwell going down in the room. I go down, it's locked, so I go back up, go across the podium, motion to the woman to come with me. She comes with me. We're about to go out the door there on the left at the bottom that has a glass door with the curtain thing over it. And I open the door to let her go through first, but the back door again opens, and a man in a suit comes in and says, "Who dares invade my temple?" And turns into a witch, like the Wizard of Oz with the black pointy hat. The woman is in shock. I grab the woman and push her out the door, and we look up. We're outside now, up the hill. Guards come out a door on that side of the building, up at the top of the hill, and I see their uniforms. They're gray with a red stripe. I had drawn it all out from the dream. Dad threw it away. I then tell the woman, run. We go around the front of the chapel building, and at that point the spirit of the dream is making it aware that we're supposed to go around the building and I'm supposed to go across the street without the woman. And I don't like that. I want it to change. My way is perfect. Messenger of the dream says, fine, but this is not how it's going to happen. And so I saw both scenarios of my way that was perfect and his way of the prophecy, where she goes around the building and gets caught by the guards. I go across the street, jump over the hedge, and safe. And I'm there next to a white-walled building. And there's a love seat, swing set. And then it begins to lightly mist rain. And I wake up. And so 2 failed marriages, temple, obvious, is involved there. And so Zion is that temple. So thus the associative memory with Jessica next to the temple. So I'll put this at the beginning of the video and we shall proceed.
In a coming day, Emmanuel will return to the earth as the Millennial Messiah.
Travis Wayne, good soul. Since the majority of my viewers are Melchizedek priesthood holders, pop quiz for ya. Which keys does the president of the church supposed to have? Unique to him. If you said Peter, James, and John, you are wrong. Section 107, verse 91. And again, the duty of the president of the office of the high priesthood is to preside over the whole church and to be like unto Moses. The keys of Moses are the keys of the president of the church. Very simple. This is the Jewish Christ keys. You did know we were Jewish, didn't you? We are not Christian. And so thus the gifts of seer, prophet, revelator, translator, having all the gifts which he bestows upon the head of the church. Section 110 tells us what the keys of Moses are. Verse 11. This is Kirtland Temple. This is the vision, not the literal history. After this vision closed, the heavens were opened unto us, and Moses appeared before us, and committed unto us the keys of the gathering of Israel from the four parts of the earth, and the leading of the 10 tribes of the land from the north. The Exodus keys. Right, because that Moses guy is from that book of Exodus, about an Exodus. Yep. The keys of the president of the church are the keys of Moses. They are not the keys of Peter, James, and John. The keys of Peter, James, and John are for planting the word of the Book of Mormon. The keys of the gathering are the keys of Exodus. Missionaries are not to be gathering, they are to be sowing the word until the time of the Exodus, when Moses will gather the Mormons to Zion. Section 103, verse 16, talking about the redemption of Zion. Therefore I will raise up unto Mormons, my people, a man who shall lead them like as Moses led the children of Israel. For ye are the children of Israel, and of the seed of Abraham, and ye must needs be led out of bondage by power and with a stretched out arm. And as your fathers were led at first, even so shall the redemption of Zion be. You are supposed to be looking for the man like Moses, and you will know him by his fruits. He will have the keys of Moses. He will be a seer, revelator, prophet, and translator of Paleo, Hebrew, and Egyptian, so that you will not be deceived by false prophets and false Christs. So I can give you more. There's a whole ton of it in here if you just studied your scriptures. Joseph Smith History, Second Vision, verse 40. talking about the Messiah ben Joseph and Messiah ben David in the 11th chapter of Isaiah. He then goes and talks about Acts, telling us to go there. He said that that prophet was Christ. So let's go to Acts. We've got to find out who that prophet is. Acts chapter 3, verse 22 and 23. For Moses truly said unto the fathers, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren like unto me. Oh, that's the president of our church here in Acts. And of course, the prophecy is in Deuteronomy 18, 15 through 19. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet, whom Joseph Smith said is our Christ. This is the Jewish Christ. The Jewish Christ is our Christ. Do you believe Joseph Smith or not? So Nelson is a false prophet because he only claims the keys of Peter, James, and John as the president of the church. And thus all the way back to the original starter of this false doctrine, false administration, Brigham Young. Because Brigham Young was the president of the 12. And thus why his branch off claimed succession by being the president of the 12 apostles. That's it. That's all. Not authorized. This church has no authority. This church is lying to us. This church is deceiving us. This church is the great and abominable church with a false Christ. He's not the Jewish Christ. Jesus is not the Jewish Christ. We just read it to you. The Mormon, who will be raised up among Mormons, will have the keys physically manifested of the man like Moses. He will have the gifts, the fruit of seer, prophet, revelator, and translator of Paleo-Hebrew and Egyptian, that you may know him, that you may know that he is the rightful leader of this church. That it does not belong to the current leadership, and they need to hand it over because they have corrupted it. Doctrine and Covenants, section 45. Joseph Smith is giving a prophecy through parable, or a story technically. I'll let him tell you. You don't believe me. Hearken, O ye people of my church. So is it the Jews, Christians, Islamists? No, you, Mormons. Hearken, O ye people of my church. And we'll skip down to verse 15. Wherefore, hearken, O ye people of my church, and I will reason with you, and I will speak unto you, and prophesy. Of the Jews? Of Christians? Of Islamists? No, you. Prophesy about you, as unto men in days of old. So the following content is about you in the Jewish manner of prophecy. So any character you need to replace with those from section 103 that I read to you. Any hero character would be the Mormon, who has the keys of Moses. The people would be you. The villain of the story would be the leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So, Nelson, these are the latter days, and they're over with, actually. You missed it. Because you did not release yourself from bondage. Verse 18. And now ye behold this temple, which is in Salt Lake City. The Jerusalem temple was built of stone. The Salt Lake temple is the only temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and the Kirtland temple of Joseph that is built of stone. Not a coincidence. Which ye call the house of God, and your enemies say that this house shall never fall. Wait a minute, the enemies shall say it'll never fall? Do you not understand the power of Joseph Smith? Verily I say unto you that desolation shall come upon this generation as a thief in the night. And this people, you Mormons, shall be destroyed and scattered among all nations. You've already been scattered among all nations. And this temple which ye now see shall be thrown down, and there shall not be left one stone upon another. And it shall come to pass that this generation of Mormons shall not pass away until every desolation which I have told you concerning them shall come to pass. Ye say that ye know that the end of the world cometh. Ye also say that ye know that the heavens and the earth shall pass away. And in this ye say truly, for so it is. But these things which I have told you shall not pass away until all shall be fulfilled. We have the final four remaining. Everything has indeed been fulfilled. The signs in the heavens have all come to pass. The day and the hour have happened. The prophecies associated with the signs in the heavens have all come to pass and have been fulfilled. Those who had Jewish eyes to see and Jewish ears to hear knew it, saw it, been there, done that. The rest of you with Christian goggles on, it would have been better if you had beer goggles. Scriptures are not complicated. It's when you believe liars and deceivers that you get confused. And so, do you say that Christ delayeth his coming until the end of the abomination of desolation, which you've been told would be a nuclear holocaust on Christmas this year? The abomination of desolation is the corruption of the temple. That's why it was associated with the temple here in section 45. Joseph Smith knew it. Why didn't you? Oh, right. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints blinded you and you believed them. You didn't study your scriptures and go, wait a minute, this is Jewish. This isn't Christian. Joseph Smith in verse 19 says the first creed of Christianity, that created Jesus as the Christ, as the name for the Christ, is all wrong, abominable, and corrupt. And you still turn the scriptures into literal histories rather than prophecy. About you. You understand this? All the scriptures are about you. For you are the house of Israel in the scripture prophecies. You are the new Israelites, the descendants. And Joseph Smith was the Jewish Christ named Messiah, son of Joseph of Egypt. 2 Nephi chapter 3. We even say him by name. But it's a prophecy, not a literal history. And so therefore, it was somebody during Joseph Smith's time that wrote the Book of Mormon, because it's not a literal history. We can keep going. Kind of have to. That's the theme of this video. And it shall come to pass that a Mormon that feareth me shall be looking forth for the great day of the Lord to come, even for the signs in the heavens of the coming of the Son of Man. Matthew 24 is about you, Mormons, about your Christ. Not Islam, not Christianity, not the Jews. And you shall see signs. They shall be shown forth in the heavens and in the earth beneath. And the remnant shall be gathered by the keys of Moses unto Zion. And then they shall look for me, and behold, I will come, and they will see me in the clouds of heaven. Revelation 19, 11 and 17, 8 April 2024. And he that watches not for me shall be cut off. Remember verse 40 from the Joseph Smith history? Yeah, you're supposed to hearken to the man like Moses, your true Christ, at the head of the church. Not Nelson, or you will be cut off. Precisely as it stands in our New Testament, which said utter destruction, if you translated it correctly from the Greek. It just says destruction in the English. So this is kind of essential to your mortal and spiritual salvation, isn't it? Because the enemy is going to use nukes for the coming of Jesus on Christmas Day. The enemy being Christianity and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who paid the Judas price to murder you. And so, setting his foot on the mount, this is not to be taken literally. He's already done it, 6th of June, 2022. And calamity shall cover the Mormon mocker. Mormons who have laughed at him shall see their folly. The Mormon scorner shall be consumed, and Mormons that have watched to accuse him falsely of iniquity shall be hewn down and cast into that fire. Because you do not believe him, you do not go in the Exodus to Zion. where there will only be peace, safety, and refuge, which we will get to if we keep reading section 45. And so, at Zion, those Mormons who followed him to Zion, who are not found guilty and have refused to go, who are apostates, like all of the high priesthood, section 85, verse 11, he's the one who will set in order the temple, do away with the abomination of desolation that the Greeks performed to the Jerusalem temple, destroying the altar, building a new one, and offering pigs on the altar, and the practice of men having to pay to have sex with women in the temple. So what did Brigham Young do? Yep, he destroyed Joseph Smith's altar and had the endowment ceremony with the creation and the garden and Peter, James, and John as the head of the church, and the covenant paths of loyalty oaths with the punishment of death for violation of them, and then your underwear as the symbol of your bondage to the church of Jesus Christ. And all women in the church are now to be prostituted, as men are required to pay tithing to prostitute their wives in order to have sex. Section 119. It's amazing how true prophets are so true. Why don't Mormons believe this? And so the Jews shall look upon him and say, what are these blisters in thy hands and in thy feet? Mormons. Then Mormons shall know that I am the Lord. For I will say unto them, these blisters are the blisters with which I was blistered in the house of my friends. So I expect that I'm going to be lifting some heavy loads for you and getting you to Zion. That day on January 6th, dear God. I am he of whom was the sign in the heavens on 8 April 2024 that created the crossroads of the sun god at noonday over the United States of America, crossing the X's, not the Taus, even though it's called Tau because of Semitic Hebrew, but Paleo-Hebrew script, it's an X for Chi in Greek. It's the last letter of the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet. The first letter of the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet is what you call the A, but it's turned on its side, just like it was over the United States of America. Yep, those ancient Jews created their script as prophecy and revelation. Brilliant. So the word sign, like Isaiah, I give unto you a sign, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name the sun god of the Egyptians at noonday. Yeah, that sign. He gave you the revelation of his coming. He gave you the revelation of the latter days, 2017 to 2024. Like I said, the latter days are over. We're waiting for the final four. The fall of the great and abominable church, the transfer of authority to your Christ, who has the keys of Moses, that exodus of the keys of Moses, and the building of Zion. There is nobody authorized but him to lead you. There is no other one authorized as the head of the church. They don't manifest the keys. They don't manifest the fruits. Only him and him alone. This whole time. He was right in your midst, and you knew him not. You did not judge him by his fruits. You did not judge Nelson by their lack of fruits. This was real simple stuff. Then shall Mormons weep. These are only those who make it to Zion. The rest, they're dead. Only those who follow him to Zion. Because of their iniquities, then they shall lament, because they persecuted their king. King is Christ, anointed. That simple. And so, yes, the war will go all around the world. First resurrection has nothing to do with zombie apocalypse. It has to do with restoring Joseph Smith's church. Joseph Smith erected it, and so Sister Jessica, she gets her picture taken. Ooh, that gives me an idea for a thumbnail picture. Oops. She's there at the temple in Australia, I believe, that was dedicated in 2020. There you are. And the reason why she took her picture at that location is because of the date of when it was erected. That was her birthday year, as I came to find out by the process of deduction. Well, little does she know, the ones who erected it were the insurrectionists, who have no authority, that they are the abomination of desolation, polluting and corrupting the temple, that she insists on prostituting her future husband someday. She has to pay tithing. If she's going to work and not get married and have babies as a prostitute herself, then she will have to prostitute her husband. That was the Roman practice that was added to the Greek practice. And so it was at least my mother's generation for when women started going on missions, because my mom went on a mission. She was born the year before World War II ended. My grandpa was a military officer stationed in Alaska. And so, yeah, he was repairing the soldiers' teeth that got blown up. That's why he went into child dentistry afterwards, because of the post-traumatic stress of adults, men, screaming in pain and horror. And so he went to children to fix their teeth from the very beginning. The guy was brilliant. Still, to this day, his work remains. But others, their work only lasts 5 years, so that you have to go back and get it fixed. It's a scam operation for other dentists. My grandpa, he was honest in his job. If he fixed your teeth and you didn't rebel and not put in your retainer, your teeth would be perfect for the rest of your life. So, I still remember the trauma. Sitting in his created dental chair. He has the patent on that. It revolved around the room. so that each station was set for you, and then he could have 3 customers at once in those chairs. The one for the operation, the one for the x-rays, and the one that waited for the x-rays to begin, and so, yeah, and then one that waited for the x-ray results so that he could then do the surgery part, or the fillings, or the paste to make the mold of your teeth. Anyway, enough of the nightmares. Back to the scriptures. Back to the scriptures. Yep. He chose not to be buried in Arlington so that he could be buried next to his wife on Mount Olivet, across the street from the University of Utah. My mom's father. All right. And so, President Russell Marion Nelson shall be arrested and shall have no more place in the hearts of Mormons. And at that day, when I shall come, shall the parable be fulfilled which I spake concerning the 10 virgins. Yeah, they're waiting for the wedding supper feast of the Lamb at the Zion Temple. Yesterday's video, section 19, or chapter 19 of Revelation, and Doctrine and Covenants 58. Okay, it's happening. Everything's talking about the same stuff. It's not all talking about different stuff from different time periods. It's all talking about the same stuff. It's all prophecy, all revelation. And if you knew Paleo-Hebrew and Egyptian, he already has on Academia how you can learn Paleo-Hebrew for yourself. And so once you get to Zion, you can learn all about Egyptian for yourself, because he's planning on making a lesson manual, and grammar, and dictionary of every single sign that is in existence. Egyptologists don't do that. Gardner's sign list is incomplete. He is not translating everything. He's missing information. Just go through your facsimiles and compare it with Gardner's sign list. See if you can find them all. You won't. Egyptologists are not experts in the field. And so, that's right, your Christ, Mormons, will have exclusive decipherment knowledge, and he's wanting to share it with you. He's not wanting to make money to live a nice, comfy living for the rest of his life, giving you a little piece here and a little piece there to keep his job. He gave it all out immediately as he finished it, and had it published, available on academia.edu, so you don't have to pay, so that people can have the information quick and fast. You don't know about that? Yeah, since the 50s, archaeologists, scholars, would get a job working at a university and would have sabbaticals to a dig site, and then spend the rest of their life analyzing the site. And so the Dead Sea Scrolls took some time before they were released to the public. But this was a situation of a group of people working on it together. But other dig sites, yeah, that was the practice. Person finds a dig site, he's set for the rest of his life with a university who will pay for his career. And if he gets too old, beyond tenure, they'll give him an honorary position at the university. You know, like Hugh Nibley. And so they really don't know anything. They just have exclusive rights for any and all information coming from a site. That's it, that's all. They are frauds. They don't want you to know and have access to it because you might steal it from them and render the translations of the documents. And yeah, and then there was King Tut's tomb scandal, because originally Carter had made a hole to see within the tomb before the official unveiling of the tomb with the press. And he was able to see on the table papyrus scrolls. And he had recorded what he had seen in the hall. And so on the day of the unveiling, the scrolls went missing and are not cataloged in the final listing of those that was in the tomb and then taken to Britain. And so the scrolls went missing. Somebody during the time period of when he initially made the hole and when the press came stole the papyrus scrolls. What is interesting is that scholars are well aware, because of Christian interpretation, turning the Bible into literal history, that they believe Tutankhamun was the son of Akhenaten. Akhenaten was his city of Zion, Heliopolis, reborn, and is believed to be the time period of when Moses existed in Egypt. I refer you to section 84, where Joseph Smith tells you about Moses being taken out of their midst and the holy priesthood also. Dum 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 dum. For Mormons that are wise and have received the truth of Jewish religion and have taken the Holy Spirit for their guide, taking the word and producing the physical results, not the spiritual witness feeling results, with spiritual witness feeling seeds to produce more spiritual witness fruit, to produce more spiritual witness seeds, to produce more spiritual witness fruit, and never come to the knowledge of the physical truth of reality. Having not been deceived. Verily I say unto you, Mormons shall not be hewn down and cast into the fire, but shall abide Christmas Day 2024. And in case you're going, what do you mean Christmas? Seriously? Do you not think I have other videos? Are you not catching on to the hints that I've done other videos? Have you not checked? I have a channel with videos. There's a home page, there's a video page, there's a playlist page, and I think there's one other thing, but regardless, video page. You can check and see what's been going on lately. YouTube doesn't want you to do that. Don't do it. We're trying to silence Travis so that Mormons will be murdered. They're the enemy, not me. I'm trying to save your life. And so the earth shall be given to Mormons for an inheritance, because everybody else is dead. And so those who go to Zion will have to replenish and fill the earth with humans again. You know, the keys of Elijah. Fathers' hearts to the children, children hearts to the fathers. Otherwise, the earth will be utterly wasted at my coming. Remember, Joseph Smith adds that. They that come shall burn you if you do not go to Zion. For the Lord shall be in their midst, and his glory shall be upon them, and he will be their king. But I have no interest in being a ruler over you, ordering you what to do. You are joint heirs with Christ. You get to live your life. Don't take away other people's agency, and you can stay in Zion. Do whatever you want. Don't take away other people's agency. Love, not hate. Okay, and so now he's talking about continuing the translation of the New Testament for the Joseph Smith translation, and then would do Revelation chapter 12, move verse 5 to verse 3, and 3 gets merged with 4, and that's this year for Hanukkah and the quadranted meteor showers, because in 2017 it was the 17th of December, on the 5th dark day of Hanukkah, the sign of the dragon, the stars all clustered to have the 10 at the tail and the 10 at the head, or 7 or whatever numbers they were. I don't memorize. And 4 is when Monson died. January 2nd, the quadranted meteor showers at the tail of Draco, the dragon. Third part of the stars, fall, death of the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So yes, Perry Packer Scott with Jewish lunar eclipses in a tetrad, not a coincidence. But I helped you with more information that famous author didn't have for you. It was the sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heaven event. Preparing Mormons, he's coming. It's Johnny. I did it for Johnny. Well, like, who's Johnny? That would be a fun theme song in the description below. Not applicable, but fun. And so, Mormons with one heart and with one mind, not Borg. Gather up your riches. It's already been paid for. We need to take back the land that we paid for. In Southern Illinois, 19 July 1840. That's when Joseph Smith hereafter appointed it unto you for. For it shall be called Zion and the New Jerusalem, a land of peace, city of refuge, a place of safety for Mormons, Latter-day Saints of the Millennial, Most High Sun God at noonday. And the glory of the Lord shall be there, and the terror of the Lord shall also be there, insomuch that the wicked will not come unto it. And it shall be called Zion, with the cities of Zion and New Jerusalem, mountain cities. It's all designed. I'm ready to go. Waiting for others to do their part to cause the fall of the church and the transfer of authority so that I can get you in an exodus to Zion. Kind of on a deadline. We got 9 days left. Hey, 9 is the Hebrew word similar to salvation. Shua. And it shall come to pass among the wicked that every man that will not take his sword against his neighbor must needs flee unto Zion for safety. And so that's not the only requirement necessary to get you to Zion. There are more requirements. You've got to be able to live in a society that has no monetary system of economy. That's why everybody else is killing themselves. And there shall be gathered unto it out of every nation under heaven the keys of Moses. And it shall be the only people that shall not be at war one with another. And it shall be said among the wicked, let us not go up to battle against Zion, for the inheritance of Zion are terrible, wherefore we can't stand them. Oh, we're just so terrible, being so good and loving, not wanting to murder other people. We're the terrible ones. And it shall come to pass that Zion shall be gathered, the righteous shall be gathered, out of among all nations, and shall come to Zion, ere anger flows with blood. We're so terrible, singing with songs of everlasting joy. Alrighty? And so we'll do one more, since we're only at 46 minutes, before we get to chapter 11, 3rd Nephi. Jeremiah, chapter 23, starting in verse 5. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a Christ shall reign and prosper, shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. Messiah ben David, the one who comes after Joseph Smith, Messiah ben Joseph of Egypt. Joseph prepares with erection, Brigham Young insurrected it, I resurrect. That's resurrection, not zombie apocalypse. Right, Jessica, who's also seer by meaning, fascinating. She doesn't know it. She probably, at least if she does know, she probably knows the typical to behold or to foresee, something like that. And so thus, to behold, to foresee, seer. Just say seer. That's the simplest, even though there's multiple translations and understandings with it. In his days, so now we know 23rd of September 2017 is the start of his ministry among Mormons in Utah. 2024 is the last year of the latter days. It's over. We're now into the preparing for the fall, the transfer of authority, the Exodus, and the building of Zion before the coming destruction 9 days from now. Utah shall be saved. Not all of them, only those who believe and go with him in the Exodus. And Israel shall dwell safely, the house of Israel. You were trying to take it literally, and it was getting confusing as to how it would happen. You were making stuff up with your spiritual witness seeds. Oops. And this shall be his name, whereby he shall be called the Lord our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Who was that? Moses, the Jewish Christ. Of prophecy, not literal history. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel, you Mormons, out of the north country, from all countries whither I had driven them. and they shall dwell in Zion. My heart is broken because of the false prophets. Land is full of adulterers. Yeah, the leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ destroy and scatter Mormons. They will not feed you. They have scattered you and driven you away, and stolen your money. You will not visit them. And so, yes, this is where he leads into the prophecy of the latter days. Alrighty, 3 Nephi, chapter 11. All missionaries take their investigators to this to prove it's Christian as literal history, ignoring the very second verse of the first chapter of the first book of the Book of Mormon. Jewish, which means prophecy. This is not literal history. So, in 3 Nephi chapter 7 is the 2024 election. And George Albert Smith helped confirm this, that Trump will not become king on January 20th. That there will be a nuclear holocaust on Christmas Day. And if Travis is able to postpone it until New Year's, great. That would be plan B. I'm trying. Did something over the weekend that I'm hoping will work to save you. We shall see. Because Mormons want you in bondage. They want you dumb. And I have that video to go over the levels of loyalty versus, what do they call it, indoctrination. I've talked about it before, but I finally put it on paper so that it can be added to the little notebook for YouTube videos. I wanted to retire and get to Zion. Taking too long, I get impatient. I'm ready to go with my part. Have to wait on others to do their part, and they're not doing it. If I want to do it. If you will let me do the fall and the transfer of authority, it will be done, and it will be done perfectly. But it's not up to me. Now it shall, and so 3 Nephi chapter 7, America falls. The destruction on Christmas is going to be a situation where Trump is wanting to take power early as president, and Democrats say no, Kamala Harris is required by the Constitution to fill in as president until January 20th. And Trump's going to say, no, I'm establishing the government here in Mar-a-Lago. This is my throne. And so the Democrat states will say, no, we do not recognize you. You are not the president yet. We are under attack by an enemy that nuked us. We need to deal with that. We need a president now. And Kamala Harris, according to the Constitution, is supposed to be the president to resolve it. So that you have to wait, and he won't wait. And so America will be the divided states. And we won't deal with whoever attacked us. And so Utah will hand over the keys of government to Nelson, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, unless this area gets nuked too. So pay attention, heads up. It's coming. I'm trying to stop it from Christmas so that they have to go to Plan B for New Year's. But they know, they've seen the patterns of me over all these years. I expose what they're planning to do to you, and they postpone it. They get mad. They want to murder me, shut me up. They go to plan B, but this is the end. So I don't know if they'll go to plan B. I think they're all in on this one. We'll see. George Albert Smith said so. Is he a false prophet? Yeah. Which means it's the plot that he was exposing. Oaks confirmed it. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you very much. And that's the thing, is that this indoctrination, it's suspect to leakers who don't know they're leaking. And Jessica is a perfect illustration of that. Her mission president was the one who leaked it. And Jessica chose to post her mission president's statement to parents and stake presidents, which is what all mission presidents are supposed to do. And he put that quote from Oaks at that Las Vegas meeting in there. And Jessica was so inspired by the Spirit to post it on her website for the mission. And then that other guy got the tip from Mindy, and that guy did the video, and YouTube, by mocking me, referred a Mormon channel. And I went, okay, I'll check this out. And ta-da! The church is angry again. That could be the theme song in the description below, too. I would like to hear that song again. There are just so many songs out there, I can't listen to them all at once, but my associative memory brings them to mind. Megadeth, angry again. Peace sells, but who's buying? That actually could work here. Yes. See how my mind works? Peace sells, but who's buying? Alrighty. And so, destruction happens from 8 to 10. Which, very curious. Not intended, because there was different chapters and verses. But it is curious. Because 3rd Nephi chapter 20:23, which was the bicentennial of Joseph Smith's second vision, was where that passage is found of Acts chapter 3, which verse 40 in the second vision. That's the one in the Book of Mormon. Hilarious. I did the videos last year, but nonetheless. 8 through 10 is 1 Nephi chapter 1, in which is 2017, the first year of Lehi's ministry to Mormons. Remember, not literal history. The Jews are Mormons. Lehi is me. The first year, 2017, it's not King Zedekiah, it's Trump. See how it works? Amazing. So true. All of it has come to pass. All of it has been fulfilled. We're waiting on the final four. The government part of the final four, yeah, we know it's all happening. Trump stole the election as a thief in the night with AI. Right, YouTube? And then the transfer of Trump and Biden shaking hands in the Oval Office. Even though January 20th is supposed to be the official transfer, but he's not supposed to make it. 3rd Nephi chapter 7, and George Albert Smith. Trump does not make it. This whole thing, this whole time, he's diverting you. Telling you he's going to mass deport everybody, murder people, lock you all up, destroy the economy, put criminals in power over you, to scare you, to divert you away from what's coming. He has no intention of being president. He was told he would not be president. He was told that he would not get punished for his crimes and not serve a day in prison. prophecies fulfilled. And so thus Oakes, by saying 2020 is the test run for the second coming of Jesus in 2024. What is the second coming of Jesus? Mass extermination and government coup. Way to perfection. Joseph Fielding Smith Sr. And the Danites, as reported by Thomas B. Marsh to Governor Boggs, who then signed the extermination order, which should have been only for the Danites, who were the secret combination that overthrew Joseph Smith's church, framed and blamed him, got him out of the way, so that Brigham became the president. Nonetheless, and notwithstanding, they had to go to Plan B because Joseph Smith got out, so they murdered him. As they realized that having him run for president wasn't going to be their tactic. They had to go to Plan C, technically. So yes, Joseph Smith was going to be Abraham Lincoln. And whether Sidney Rigdon was also supposed to be assassinated, that's another thing. But Brigham was assured, after 1838, that Sidney Rigdon may not have known who the enemy was, and therefore Brigham would be able to control Sidney Rigdon to get him as the acting president, to then establish martial law under Brigham Young's direction, with his Council of 50 that he framed and blamed Joseph for. Nevertheless, that's other stories. I've already done the videos. Alright, so destruction happens. And so, verse 1, 3 Nephi chapter 11. It came to pass that there were a great multitude of Mormons who followed me, gathered together, keys of Moses, of the Mormons, people of Nephi, round about the temple of Zion, not built yet. Temple is the city. This is the difference. See, you're used to having temples as a separate building to go into to worship. Zion will be the temple, your home. So the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints tells you that you need to make your home after the similitude of the temple. I mean, after all, your wife is your prostitute. You paid for her. No monetary system of economy in Zion. No wife will be prostituted anymore. Nonetheless, that's the temple. The rituals of the temple, of the true rituals, will be fulfilled because they're prophecy and revelation. And so thus you are the fulfillment. And so your living in Zion is the ritual practice, the meaning of the rituals. Washing and anointings, to become kings and queens, priests and high priestesses, Melchizedek, Melech, king, Zadok, high priest. And as Amen in Paleo-Hebrew, universal symbol of the sun as the prefix determinative in Paleo-Hebrew, the M is the high priest symbol from the Egyptian hieroglyph of the water over the high priest, pouring it out over the head like Aquarius. And then the N is a dualistic thing. It's the root word of MN, but it's also a suffix determinative for humans as king, for land as kingdom, because of the crown, and then the J stroke for a human. King. Kingdom, with the king on the throne. So, king and high priest, Melchizedek, abbreviated as an acronym for Amen, the sun god at noonday of the Egyptians, of the 18th dynasty, David Moses's. And so, bountiful is Zion, not bountiful Utah. Notice the Book of Mormon has two bountifuls, this one and the one over in Saudi Arabia and Iraq. Isn't that where the river flows into the... I'd have to look at the map. And they were marveling and wondering one with another, and were showing one to another the great and marvelous change that had taken place. Yeah, you were saved. Everybody else is dead. You made it to Zion. Good for you. Now continue to be good and produce the fruits. They were also conversing about this Jesus Christ, of whom the sign had been given concerning his death. Yeah, you're now going, so April 2024 was the sign of the coming of our Christ? Nelson never told us that. No duh. And so then the still small voice, which Mormons have no clue what that is. It's now still small feeling. And then they see the sun god at noonday descending out of heaven, clothed in a white robe. Huh. Anybody watch the video yesterday? Huh. And he came down and stood in their midst. His eyes of the whole multitude were turned upon him, because I got you to Zion. I'm the man like Moses. And they durst not open their mouths. Oh crap, he's our Christ? Oh. He stretched forth his hands, just like Nelson in the Christmas devotional. So not true. And he spake unto you, and saying, yeah, I'm him. Sorry to disappoint you. You were expecting somebody else, whom the prophets testified should come into the world. And I told you in yesterday's video, wasn't it? Jesus did the picture with words that you had to read, no narration. Oh my God. See, I never want to get old. The elderly are so stuck on the old ways and have no clue about the new technologies that they want things the way they were, tradition. And so if it doesn't happen the way they want it to happen, so anyway, so yeah, everything has happened, guys. Whether this is a meeting that I hold for you, or if it's me when you come into the main office, however it will be built. If it were to be done the way I'm planning on, it will be perfect. If I have to settle for other people, it will not be perfect, and I will be frustrated, because I know that it can be perfect if it were done by me. If you want something done right, do it yourself, and it will be done perfectly. But that's the struggle in life, is that you have to work with other people on many things. And that's where the problem is that when you have people that are not trained, educated, experienced to do the job suffers. And so, yeah, but Zion is designed for you to do things at your own level. I let you go. You're free. Nobody's hovering over you to clock in, to have a quota system met. No. You are all given everything you need to learn and do whatever you want. That's all you got to do, is help build Zion. Get the storehouses so that others can prosper. Don't provide cheap quality products that only last 5 years and forces people to get new stuff. No, you can make stuff that will last as long as possible. The light bulb can last forever now, rather than being threatened and having to redo the commercials the next year and saying, okay, only 10 years is the life of our light bulbs. And you get them, and the filament breaks after the first few days. Unbelievable. Alrighty, and so we'll finish off with Jesus to Records Samuel. Third Nephi 23. Yep. All right. So, verse 6. Now it came to pass that when Jesus had said these words, he said unto them again, after he had expounded all scriptures unto them in YouTube videos, which they had received, he said unto them, behold, other scriptures I would that ye should write, that ye have not. Travis spoke of other things. These are sealed portion stuff. I found out what was going on with Jessica, and so there was a sealed portion video that did not get published for you. And it came to pass that he said unto Nephi, which is hilarious, that's the new name. I'm Jesus, new name is Nephi, and Samuel is the name of God. And I didn't refer to Jesus, I referred to the video with the picture. Jesus is Yahshua. Isaiah is Shua Yah. And so the one scripture, the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Well, it's actually the testimony of Isaiah, the seer, is the spirit of prophecy and revelation, because it gives you the day and the hour of when the prophecy would occur. That's what it was actually talking to you about. That's why they used the name Jesus, is to refer to the prophecies of Isaiah. This is the prophecy of Isaiah. That's why Isaiah is plagiarized, errors and all, in the Book of Mormon. And then they explain it by correcting Isaiah's translation that is wrong. But you got to pay attention. Bring forth the records that I have kept and recorded. So when I bring them forth to me, lay them before me, I cast my eyes upon you who come to Zion. Verily I say unto you, I commanded me, the Californian, that I should testify unto you that at this day, right now, the Father should glorify his name in me, and that there would be many Mormons who would be in Zion to restore Joseph Smith's religion, not arise from the dead. That's why the Book of Mormon is talked about as the voice of one from the dust. resurrected from the dead. It was not resurrected, it was not dead, but that's the symbolism that they're trying to get across for you for resurrection. And should appear unto many, and should minister unto Mormons, ever since 23rd September 2017. And he said unto them, was this not so? Oh, yeah. And my disciples then answered me and said, yea, yes, Travis, you did prophesy according to thy words, and all were fulfilled. We were the ones that followed you on YouTube whenever we first found you. Only one has been since 2015. And so I say unto them, how is it that I have not unsealed what I have written and spoken? So yeah, this is funny, but not literal history. And so yes, it is recorded. Everything has happened. I've got it all. And so I'll expound all scriptures in one unto you. That's one of my many projects to work on in Zion. Like I said, also teaching you how to translate, decipher Egyptian, so that you'll get the fuller meaning of the facsimiles and the papyri. I've got the papyrus scrolls. They don't belong to this church. They don't care about translator. Why do they have it? So yeah, we need to take all of the documents. But I'll settle for the digital forms, which I already have. So, alrighty, that's it. Peace sells, but who's buying? And so we'll go back over the listing for the month. Oh, you're supposed to see it's supposed to be smart enough now to remember how I left things, so that it would do it as I left off. And despite the great technology, it still can't do it with the latest upgrade of Windows. I had to redesign the photo frame. So today's the 16th, which in 167 BCE, the Greeks' abomination of desolation of the Jerusalem temple occurred, as they tore down the altar. And then 10 days from then, which Christmas Eve, but the Boxing Day is technically 10 days, would be the completion of the Greek altar, which began the offerings of pigs and prostituting of women. They're open for business under new management. And so also a new thing that I had found the other day and added to the new chart, the Comé Berenices. They're at their peak at the tail of Leo the lion. And so it's curious that they're the hair of Berenicia. And so the tail hairs of Leo are the hair of Berenicia. I don't know if there's any Berenicias out there, but regardless, that's what it means. And so, stars falling from the tail of Draco the dragon was Monson's death. Stars falling from the tail of Utah symbol, let's find out. We'll wait and see. That's the sign in the heavens for today, with the abomination of desolation memorial service, remembrance. And then tomorrow into the 18th would be the Leonid meteors peaking in conjunction with Mars and the waning moon. So, alrighty.